Hello, Blackhawks Nation. Welcome to the Blackhawks Daily, your favorite recap of the daily buzz around your Chicago Blackhawks. I'm your host, PJ. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for getting past the hyperbolic titles on these videos. You know, we're just trying to garner some interest, but I really appreciate you hanging out, seeing what the videos are all about. I really appreciate you, hanging out with me while we're trying to get to the final puck drop of starting the season, the 100th season of the Hawks. Can't wait for that. As you know, it's a very dry, very boring offseason. There's not a lot going on. So we're just trying to grab whatever tidbits we can, keep the jonesing at bay until October 7th in Sunrise, Florida. Actually, really until middle of September when training camp starts. So thanks so much for that. Let's get into the top 4 topics of today. So today, it's Sunday. I'm recording on Sunday. Got the Bears on. Just finished watching the Bears play the Dolphins and finish up tied. But, hey, Ben Johnson, it's going to be a good year. Super excited for the Bears as well. So have the same love and hope for the Hawks. So, actually, I missed it last week because I recorded on Thursday, showed it on Friday. I totally missed that last Friday, August 8th, 8/8, it was declared to be Patrick Kane Day here in Chicago. So it was officially declared to honor our Blackhawks all-time great. Chicago Alderman Brian Hopkins made the announcement during Kane's inaugural community event at Johnny's Ice House West. Kane surprised the youth players in attendance with brand new Bauer helmets and gloves, as well as signed pucks. Such an awesome guy. It's great to see him still involved with the community that he has called home for so many awesome years. There was even a savage fight between DeBrincat and Kane on the ice. Now, of course, by savage, I mean adorable, and by friends, I mean the little tykes, Archie DeBrincat and Patrick Kane III. So you can find the entire 18-second throwdown on X or YouTube. It was pretty darn cute. What's not as cute is our new head coach's approach on how the team will be moving forward. And I got to tell you, I kind of like it, right? He's got good experience. He coached in Detroit for a long time. As a head coach, he came from Tampa Bay as an assistant. So, he's got some moxie behind him. Following some tough seasons of rebuilding in Chicago, we seem like a team that could turn the corner soon, right? As Hawks fans, we're always hope eternal. So we're always thinking, but with all the young top draft picks that we have, they're getting older, they're getting more experienced, and the Hawks will be among the teams to watch in these coming years. So this summer, the organization hired Jeff Blashel as the head coach. It's expected that he's going to lead this team to some success. So he had an interview with the Chicago Sun-Times. He kind of opened up about his plans for training camp, his playbook, his coaching staff, and what he expects in next season. And what he plans to do is he plans to teach the Blackhawks winning habits, something that we really haven't had over the past decade. And after several years of tough play, right? Like over the last decade. So the Hawks have only won one playoff round since we won the Stanley Cup in 2015. That's friggin' brutal. So as we know, building a team from the ground up takes time, but Blashel plans to turn things around, and hopefully quicker or sooner rather than later. He knows, however, that will depend on how quickly the players will develop. So he said, and I quote, "The reality is our growth will be based on how quickly our young guys mature, not only how they mature physically, but more importantly, how their games mature. We'll go from a young, talented group to a group that plays winning hockey. The most exciting opportunity we have as a coaching staff is to mold our players into winning players as quickly as possible. It'll be a different animal as we get into this season, but it gives me some perspective." And then later on in the same interview, he talked about his lineup and his plan on getting the team to the next level, starting at rookie and training camps. And then I quote, "When you look at the decor, we're big and we can skate as a whole. So what ways can we utilize that? One area is on breakouts. They're going to use their feet to help us get out of our end. And from there, they should move pucks to open people, and then let's beat people up the ice. And now you're involved in a rush in creating outnumbered situations. There's still shot selection, but when the puck goes low to high, the first read should be looking to the net and having a shot mentality. That's something we're going to emphasize early. Ultimately, the whole point of the game is to create more chances than you give up. If you do that over and over again, you score more goals than you give up. And to me, that's a balance of understanding risk versus reward. Is the reward worth the risk? If it is, well, then that's when you attack and you try to make plays. And there are times when the reward is not worth the risk and you make safer plays with the puck. The first system we'll implement will be our back-checking track. The reason for that is, one, it's a work ethic indicator, and that'll show how willing our team is to work. And two, it's one of the best ways to create transition offense opportunities by being smothering in your effort to come back as forwards. That allows your defensemen to gap up, create turnovers, and go the other way. We'll put a huge emphasis on the first 3 steps in any kind of transition, both from a reload perspective, but also from when you create turnovers. End quote. Very cool, right? Love all that. Let's talk about speed. Let's talk about creating opportunities. Let's talk about taking advantage of those opportunities and keeping the other opponents on their back heels or back skates. Love that. Blashel also opened up about his coaching staff, and I quote, "I've got a group of coaches that really see things similarly, from a hockey standpoint, from a habit standpoint, and from an importance of discipline standpoint. They're guys I know that will be able to challenge me as well. You want both of those things," which is true. The Chicago Blackhawks have shown, or they did show a lot of promise at the end of last season. And under Blashel, taking the next step this season doesn't sound as far-fetched, right? We got lots of talent on this young roster. Let's go. I just can't wait. Let's get this puck dropped already, for criminy sake. You know what? And then talking about all these young players, another one to keep an eye on. We have several exciting prospects who will be looking to cement themselves spots on the NHL roster this coming season. One interesting prospect we haven't really touched on yet, who fans should not ignore heading into the season, is forward Ryan Green. Now, Green is 21. He was selected by the Blackhawks with the 57th overall pick in the 2022 draft. Since then, the 6'1" player has shown good promise, and this undoubtedly was the case this past season at Boston University. In 40 games in 24-25, he recorded career highs with 13 goals and 25 assists and 38 points. This was after he had 31 points in 38 games during his freshman year at Boston in 2023, or 2022 to 2023, and 36 points in 40 games with the school 2023 to 2024. After completing his 3rd season with Boston last year, Green signed his entry-level contract with the Blackhawks, officially marking his end at that time in college. So no more keg stands for that guy. Following the signing of his entry-level deal, Green appeared in his first 2 NHL games with Chicago last season, where he had 0 points, 1 shot, and 3 block shots. Now, while he didn't get on the score sheet in his first 2 NHL games, he did show promise and will certainly be a youngster to watch next season because of it. So overall, with how well Green played in college, he undoubtedly is among the Blackhawks' promising prospects. It'll be interesting to see how much of a step forward he takes in his development next season from here, but it's hard not to feel optimistic about him. So, yeah, I totally agree. And last but not least, we have some hot takes from our wonderful, wonderful fans. That's you guys. Tom Filipiak, 3511, repeat offender. He said, "Stan the man." So we were talking about Stash, right, from last year. So on Thursday of last week was the death of number 21 for us. So he died 27 years ago, I believe. So did a lot on him. Stan the man, what a great hockey player and person. They don't make him like that anymore, and they really don't. Makita was really cut from a different cloth, right? Like, I don't know. He embodied like Bobby Hall and all those guys, Tony Esposito. They all embodied like this really everyday man, true blue collar workman ethic. talented but humble ways about them. And just like we covered, he totally changed his game. He was an enforcer early on. Not an enforcer, but he totally drew a lot of penalty minutes. And then when he saw how his daughter was seeing him, like, hey, why are you always in a penalty box? And then he changed his game and then became one of our all-time top scorers in many categories. So yeah, you don't make him like that anymore. Agree with you, Tom. Thank you for your comments, sir. Beans 7014, another repeat offender. He says, damn, I love my Hawks. Right there with you, buddy. Have a great weekend, PJ. Well, thank you. I am. The Bears, if they won, would be better, but I guess a tie is good. The season is right around the corner. Hell yeah, it is. It's August 10th right now. We got like a month to go. So let's go. Beans, I'm right there with you, buddy. Thank you so much. Fubar Total 3389, another repeat offender. Love this guy. He says, I'm going to disagree on Knight. We had talked about Spencer Knight and his impact on the team, and we had some other people commenting about very optimistic on his outlook, about him coming in, about him being very seasoned, and how he's really talented and he really could be a top-tier goalie for us. Fubar Totali says, I'm going to disagree on Knight. Certainly he has been playing NHL hockey for a couple of seasons, but he was playing behind Sergei Bobrovsky, a guy who plays more games than probably any goalie in the league, which is true. He's also kind of like the best goalie on the planet right now. Why do you think Florida felt they could let their backup go right before the playoffs? They had no concerns about Bob's workload because he'd always been such a pack mule as a goalie. I don't have Knight's starts or stats the last couple of years handy, or starts the last couple of years handy, but there can't be that many. Yeah, the only thing I'll say, though, is that he got to sit on the bench for, I think he was there for 4 years with Florida, with one of the, arguably the top goalie in hockey, and just osmosis learning from this guy. So I think he's coming from a great environment. I think he's got a great shot with us. The more I learn about Spencer Knight, the more I like him. So as a Chicago Hawks fan and as a Chicago fan in general, we always tend to be uber hopeful. So I'm very hopeful that he has a fantastic season for us this year. But thank you, Fubar. Thank you for always piping in. Rob Badgley, 4889 says, enjoy your content. Subscribed. Thank you, sir. Hyperbole, clickbait titles are a bit much, but I understand. Have a good day. Yes, sir. Thank you for understanding. We've commented on this before. If you've seen the videos, you know what's up. So thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Spread the word. And I'm sure once we start getting into season and once we start talking about pucks in the back of the net, I am sure all the thumbnails will finally start making sense with our videos, which will be great. And Chet Stevens Q says, Cal Davidson will go down as one of the worst GMs ever in the NHL, not just Blackhawks bad. Rebuilding, entering year 8, and still no progress. Yeah, again, with the hope springs eternal attitude that we have, we'll see, right? He hasn't even been full 3 years yet. Oh, close to 3 years. He's been the GM. He's really kind of taken a measured approach. I get it. We're impatient. It's been a decade since we've had any relevance. Like I just mentioned earlier in this video, we've only had one playoff round one since we won the Stanley Cup in 2015. That's abysmal. And we've kind of we've gone from laughingstock before we, 20 years ago we were laughingstock, then we had the dynasty decade, and now we're back to laughingstock. We're working our way back. I'm going to give Davidson a little bit of time. See how it works out. The clock is ticking for him, obviously, but he's got Bedard now. We've got Nazar. We've got some really good people in the pipeline. I think there's just a couple of pieces left. We'll see. We've got a pretty good coach in there. He's well respected among other coaches in the league. We talked about that earlier this season or earlier this offseason. So who knows? Let's see how it goes. I'm going to give Davidson the benefit of the doubt. Hopefully Blashel can get this team cohesively put together and toward winning hockey. And if he does, then Davidson's going to look like a genius, right? And if he doesn't, well, then he's going to pay the piper. So we'll see how it goes. But Chet, thank you very much for your contribution there, sir. And that's a wrap. Blackhawks Nation. I really appreciate it. Please tune in every weekday to get your Blackhawks Daily download so you can press all your friends and neighbors. Keep commenting because you guys always impress me. Lord knows, I think I know a fair bit. You guys always know way more than I do. So thank you very much. Keep piping in. Keep commenting about your thoughts and your hopes and your dreams. And let's just collectively, by sheer force of will, make this 100th season of the Blackhawks a fantastic one. I mean, it's our centennial season. Let's celebrate. So thank you so much for tuning in. Please do like and subscribe and share about the channel. And I really do appreciate it. Warms my heart. Let's go Chicago. Let's go Bears. Let's go Blackhawks. Cubs, White Sox, all of them. Bulls, the Chicago Fire. Let's go. Let's go all teams. Let's go them all. And thank you so much for tuning in. I'm PJ. I will see you next time on the Blackhawks Daily.